Hey, guess what I got? This women's retreat for this year. Yes, I gotta get to read all this. Yep. Wow. I got. I did download this. Yep. And you can go to a women's retreat too if you want. Yeah, it's on. Starts up in May, and it is a cost of money. About some cost. Cost you 175 Canadian. But you know something? You can go to Camp Cockwell's website and register up for the women's retreat. Yes, yeah, you can. So no, so this video is sort of sponsored by the women's retreat, and I will be there. Hopefully, but may not be able to do any live streams at the women's retreat, but I can record them on my Chromebook. I record here on my laptop and turn around and post them later. With I have a good enough cell phone signal someplace, I can post them through my mobile phone. I try to post it on the way back from the camp. On the drive back along High London, just post all the way along, tower to tower to tower, basically. Anyways, yep, it's coming. It comes up right after this before the May 24 weekend. So buckle up and you will be in for a ride. And you love it. Only ladies only, no kids. And I can read off the seat for you here. Well, on Friday, registration, welcome session, and the magical mart and games and magical games and campfire that night. In the morning, 8:30 breakfast. Session 1 is mainly the service you have, which is great. Coffee break at 10:30. Personal smell and group reflections. Then we're gonna have at 11, and at 12:30 lunch. Yum yum, yum yum, good food. Then at 1 o'clock till 5:30 at free time, and occupational crafts if you wish to do so. Yes, which I don't bother that, but it is great, So some of your people out there may like that, and some won't. It's up to you to do that. If your time, you can do it wisely, and if you're happy about it, and you're gonna have 7 o'clock, it's gonna be session 2, which means session 2, and then at 5:30 supper. Then session 2 of another service. You got. Then at 8:30 movie night or a campfire. We all like sitting around a campfire telling all kinds of tales. It's really not raining. I will be there at campfires here. Wow, here we go again. Sunday morning breakfast, session 3, then lunch. And now come time to pack up and motor on back to where you came from, like Hamilton, wherever. Of course, and I might be up there that time, so I won't, may or may not do it. It all depends on the Wi-Fi and the internet. And if last year, the internet was not very good and very bad. It's good enough to make a phone call. It wasn't good enough doing live streaming on, so that's going to be difficult. Anyway, so what I may do here is I may record on the computer, maybe, and guess what? I may record on a computer, and what I will do is this: I will turn around. When I do that, I will record on the computer itself. What I will do here is this: I go through that whole system, record on a computer, store it in the hard drive, store it here in a computer in the hard drive. From there, then on my way back down highway, on my way back through Meadowan and back road into that area, back into Maine. Then I will do. Then from there, I'll click through it all and start the uploads of all we upload every recording I did. Get uploaded internet all the way back to Hamilton. When I get back to Hamilton, what I haven't been uploaded yet, I'll hook up again to line it here and finish the uploads. And by the time you get it all on a computer, by the time you see it on YouTube, maybe it won't be until either late, won't be until Sunday night, probably some of it, but most will be up by Monday. So, well, you know something? It's so wonderful to sit here and do a live stream. Anyway, so I let you know about that incident. Can't cough or come. Oh boy, a friend of mine was in the hospital and he got out now. He finally got released yesterday. Want to hear? I know he told me something. I couldn't believe this when I heard it. A couple of homeless people were in the lobby of the hospital and right where you come in, where visitors come in out of the hospital. Well, apparently they were asked by a security guard there to leave. And these two homeless people gained up on the two security guards, picked one and threw one, and one literally, you know, into a side of an ambulance, and he put a dent in the ambulance door in the back of the ambulance there, which shook the ambulance back and forth while they were trying to unload a very critically injured inmate from Hamilton jail in the emergency room for emergency treatment. While apparently, and the other guy went through a window and landed on his back. Both guys were seriously hurt, very seriously injured. On top of that, the police, well, apparently the correction guy got right in the thick of it. He grabbed these two homeless people, held them down, and the police put the cuffs on them. And if all two were loaded in the back of the cop car, they'd driven down to Central, and the guy said, "Well, I'll be seeing you there indeed, and tomorrow, I see you tomorrow," admitting and discharge department of the detention center, Hamilton Wentworth, no jail. Anyway, anyways, that and that's what happened there. Unfortunately, two guys were pretty seriously hurt from this, and they had to, and they one had a severe had a literally have a um had a very bad concussion head and had to be and he ended up in a trauma room getting that treated. The other guy ended up in a trauma room too. Like, and top of homeless guy, he probably, you know what? One look at that, and one look at the judge gonna go in that courtroom. And you know what's gonna happen? And whoever's on that bench, the judge, I pray, the judge on that bench, throw a book at him. You know what? The judge is gonna sit up reading the paper, and guess what happened? He gonna get lots and lots and lots of this. See this? See the what? Yeah, lots and lots of this to think about. A lot of it. I get a. He looking at a serious time in jail, and okay, and injure and the correction guy will be probably get patted on the back by the correction officer, jail guy. He will be patted by his superiors big time. Probably get a reward for apprehension of a criminal, while attending the inmate while the inmate is being moved in hot. And you know what's gonna happen next? I know what's gonna happen. He won't be walking away from that too easy. Well, he gonna become a guest of the federal system. May become a guest of federal system. May do a long guest of the provincial system. And who pays for those meals? Can you guess? The taxpayer. Think about it. The innocent taxpayer had to pay for all those meals in the jail, transportation to court, plus, the damage to that the emergency vehicle caused by putting a dent in there and have to be fixed, the body shop, having out of service while life depends on somebody's life's going to depend on that vehicle getting to the hospital. If there's going to be sorties on top of that, he'll get additional time for that. Oh no, it's not funny. Think about it. If you go to a federal pen, you have to know who pays for it, the federal taxpayers. People pay taxes on old age income on old OAS like I have to do now. I do now. It's not, funny when I realize what this guy did. I think of money, tax dollars right there too. That's true. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Well, anyways, my friend's out of the hospital, but this was pretty bad. Never made the news. But also, I was one day I wanted to visit a place down on Nass, not Nass, but on Centennial Parkway, the chicken place. That sounds nice, very tasty chicken. I walk in there, and do 2 days back, and I could just smell the nice chicken cooking, and I just ordering up chicken, ordered up some chicken wings. They're at the takeout, takeaway, or the chicken at the takeaway restaurant there. And then I looked around. I could see that down below. I could see the gas burners were sputtering, sputtering a lot. And I said, there's something wrong with your gas burner down there. And the owner said, oh, it always does that, It never always does that. Always does it. I know what happened was, and also, and of course, he didn't listen to me. He didn't listen. Then this morning, turned on Channel 11 News. Lo and behold, the rest had a fire in that restaurant. And when I heard later on, I checked into it a little bit from a media links to find out that, sure enough, the gas burner in that Cajun chicken cooker had having problems with it, and no happened was the having trouble with the burner, and the burner was sputtering a lot. Turned out the burner sputtered, and the pilot light just sputtered, and the back gas valve would let the pressure, but let all the pressure in the main end, and that would cause the fire, a faulty gas valve on the unit. That the owner didn't think that was normal. What? That ain't normal. I even said the owner, that's a faulty gas valve. I already knew what it was when I seen what going on there when he was doing my chicken and I paid for it. Then late, and this was yesterday, not yesterday, day before that, 2 days before. And lo and behold, on the news, there was a big fire in Stony Creek at in that same restaurant, and that I just told the owner about a faulty gas valve. He didn't listen. Well, that's what happened. Like, even I could spot the problem, but I figured that out. No one really figured that out. Why? Because what Mikey Pipe, the pipe doctor home services, when he finds a faulty gas valve like that, he stuff like a burner sputtering on a faulty valve causing a sputter, and even Steve Latteronia, both the sentence of that could be burner sputtering on a furnace, going pop, 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 boom, boom, and burn away, boom, go out, boom, come back up, start to burn again, and get it like that. So what it's doing is doing that, coming off, puttering off, coming off, and or the pilot light is like pumping, a pilot light going like this, like a pilot light going like this, spinning around like this, and all of a sudden it goes down, come back up again, and then sometime, or worse thing, it's a gas valve. All of a sudden, the inside that valve goes, You know what happened? All the gas pressure that coming into that particular furnace or that particular unit or that particular chicken cooker they had, all that pressure come in, all of a sudden go like this. And what happened? That's because that's there where the fire was. Huh. Well, I figured, I even warned him that 2 days before it happened. I was saying, well, I seen the problem. I warned him, but he didn't. He said, always did that, always done that, That what he think it was normal. And I said it wasn't. He disagreed with me. Well, lo and behold, he learned his lesson the hard way. Yep. Yeah, want to know what happened was? A friend of my hospital, he had a severe blood clot in the part of the vein outside, and that blood clot was where the vein gets stuck. And what I know, I figured out what happened when it happened there. Figured out, okay, what happens when you get water in a pipe, a drain pipe? What is going to happen? That water going to find a path of least resistance. Or blood clot, you get a clot, the water, blood is flowing, get a clot and going flowing through here. Your blood will go flowing through. All of a sudden, you get a blood clot. That blood can't flow through it, getting there. And it going to building up, building pressure, and finally, all of a sudden, it finds the path of least resistance, and boom, dumps that blood out into the stomach. Person vomits that blood out, boom, because it looked for path of least resistance. Then they had to clear it. They had to physically clear it. The clot brush it down. Okay. So what happened there with medicine is that he was in the hospital a week and all the stuff he's seen. He was not happy about. He was not complained to admin and even complained to hospital administrators about it too. And my friend did too. Were coming every day. I didn't come, but if I'd seen it, I would have done the same damn thing, complain to administrators and say that to them. Know why? I would say, know why I would do that? Because number one, how do you feel if you were a patient in Hamilton General Hospital? We got homeless people out there doing shit like that. One beats up a security guard, but security guard in critical condition. That is not tolerated. And I think, I don't know what can happen, but I think they need to have stricter protocols than that. Number two, taking out the chairs in a little lobby there, move all the seats so they can't sit down, or put very uncomfortable benches in there, benches that I have like that, and they're very uncomfortable. Can't sit on them very long. We try to, they will really that, and have stuff like if they want to sleep on the floor, they would be having a area that will have like a very, very hostile and not pretty, but it would keep them away. And top of that, on top of that is when they go to sleep on that, it will the conveyor belt will and the head of the conveyor belt eject, take it right out in the parking lot, and right out in the parking lot they come back and it stopped. They come back in, go to sleep on it. The conveyor come back on, out in the parking lot again every time. But then the door, and of course, having a door and going into that area unlocked, but having emergency room door open only, the heavy guys there. But have a place that have a conveyor belt eject them out the parking lot every time. So when they try to sleep, they're gonna get messy. I can't sleep here. I can't allow it anymore unless I'm a patient, and they're gonna get sick. Be transported by an ambulance there, and guess what? Oh, yeah, then they get accommodated for. Get sleep or so. Anyways, that's one of my wild ideas of mine. That's I think it probably worked. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, that's an idea of mine. Anyway, so it'd be a good idea. Maybe I should bring that up someday to Hamilton General Hospital. Called anti-electronic homeless eviction system. That where a homeless guy comes in, you get a line, sit in a bench or something like that, lie in a bench. Unfortunately, him or it comes in and camera identify homeless, the homeless and he lies, falls asleep. They send the vent ward, and what happens is there'll be things that lock him on the bench. The vent is in the conveyor belt starts up, and the vent moves out through a door that don't look like a door. It's no brick or what, but comes out, move right outside. You know how cool. And then it releases. Then it releases him from the bench. Once he released from the bench, and then unfortunately the door coming into that area are locked. We can't get into the area again. And then when a hospital patient sit down, the bench won't eject outside. See? But unfortunately, a homeless guy, he can't come into the emergency room because the guards will already know there that he's homeless and trying to get in. It's called homeless. Basically known as electronic eviction machine. Basically, wow, yeah, that'd be an interesting idea. No, what happens? He sits in the bench. Cop will go in the vent, and that vent actually go down, and the floor comes up. Another vent comes out empty. That vent sitting on comes down, and where conveyor belt down below the floor with that vent, with them right out into the parking lot. Boom. Where Ben pops out at the parking lot, and guess what? He'll get and it release it. He go run back to that door. It will be locked. Can't get in. Period. And I think that would be a vulnerable, good idea there. If I'm thinking about what I'm thinking about. Anyway, so I hopefully that's an idea, but maybe it's a good idea building a machine that literally won't harm them, but will remove them from there with bent, and while guard hit the button, all kinds of they try to avoid them, but the vent what happen is it's controlled by two little pods there. One move forward and they go poof around his arm, on the other arm, two on his legs, so he can't get up. And then the vent says it go through a door. Then what happened? A conveyor that will go on the conveyor belt there. And when what happens is on that vent, it go through the conveyor belt, going through a hidden doorway. The hidden doorway, will go right outside in a parking lot, and will actually take the homeless individual. Comes out there, he is then removed. At that point, all the thing come off, and it get released there in the parking lot. And what happens to that individual? He then is in the parking lot and try to get back in, but finds a locked door there. And it say locked for good 10 minutes. And the homeless guy realizes he can't get any doors. He will turn around. He may leave or try other things when he tries. But unfortunately, if he dies breaking a window or something, then that way too. So this way, God's not in danger. There got to be a way to do that, and it would be legal, but it's going to be designed in such a way to evict homeless people from taking up needed bench space for hospital patrons. But also be designed in such a way it will be really comfortable bench to sit on. But it has a little bit, but it's a booby trap. It's a booby trap. So what that means is it sits on it, and the guards see a homeless, the booby trap engaged, lock him and seat in the bench where he can't move. He cuffed the bench, cuffed that leg up by cuffs. Boom. The bench is moved away right through it. There's a brick door. What happened is holding that it will open up like this. It's like an elevator door out there, but this elevator, not an elevator, what it does is it goes and right through that door and it right outside, the door shut behind him, the bench sits there and all that, and then the release come off the individual homeless guy and release come off him. All of a sudden all it comes off and he's standing out in the cold and he try to get back in. He can't because the doors are locked. Including emergency room door locked. So when the ambulance comes in with a patient to the emergency room, then the button is pressed to unlock the door. Unfortunately, that person has been taken away. By that point, he is going to realize this and try again. And I want to try the same thing again. Next thing, work out home community and they're going to avoid the place because they know they're going to get ejected every time by a bench that would be that they like to sit on, but it will eject them outside every time. I was thinking that. Wouldn't that be a good idea? Wow, it'd be an interesting thing to me to think about. But I might just bring this up. I could go down, I could ask, and then maybe tomorrow I might slip into general, ask to speak to one of the hospital administrators about this and about homeless issue happening in here. And they say, look, I got an idea, but they're going to take, might take a lot of money of your operating budget to do so. But it could prevent what happened to that security guard. I feel bad because a friend of mine in the hospital told me what happened to him, and he was mad. I wasn't pissed off. So what I'm saying, what I'm talking about, you have a nice, very comfortable bench sitting there, and just in the lobby. It's a bait for homeless. They would see that bench. They want to sit and, they might go to sleep on it. But unfortunately, guards will see it on camera, and they have a couple of joysticks in there, and they have this button called button is locked down. Hit that button. All of a sudden, a metal thing come out on the arms. Boom. And another one goes on both legs, suckling them in. They could be, and that means the bench. That means to try to get up and try to panic. At that point, they can't get up. They can't move the arms. They can't move the leg. Then the bench. What happened next? Suddenly, the conveyor. Then this, under hit the sky conveyor belt kicks in, and the big door looked like a size an elevator door opens up to outside. And that conveyor belt goes straight outside, and it stops outside the door on there. The doors will automatically lock. Both doors will lock immediately, and as soon as that person is outside in the parking lot, then they hit the guard will touch the unlock. He gets up, and he will either move or attempt to get back in, but finding doors locked, he can be frustrated enough that he won't be in there, and then as soon as he's off the property, doors are unlocked. Beta system. And so what happened is a hospital patrons come down from one of the rooms upstairs, like one of the wards, and sitting there just reading a coffee or watching TV. Then that won't happen to them. They sit nice comfy bench. But a homeless person, they won't. They'll sit in that bench. They won't be. And they find themselves outside. They fall asleep, and all of a sudden outside sub-zero temperature. Boom. Think about it. It'll be something that would work. You know what I'm talking about? But it has to be done in such a way that legal too. I was thinking that idea, maybe. But it means that you're going to have to do some modifications at this entrance here for that, and to have a door put in from the outside, but it won't be noticed what be done, but not noticeable enough. You know what I'm talking about? But not noticeable not noticeable at all to the anybody going by that wall or walking by. Oh, guy, he won't notice it there all. He won't notice it inside there because it look like a brick wall. But a brick wall will, as soon as he goes on that bench and sit down, and once when the guard identify him as being homeless, because that's that, then the guard can, then this way, the guard can walk over there and see him, smells dirty, look dirty, homeless guy, and you complain about that. Okay, the guard go back in the booth. Then, and that's what? Then comes the eviction process, which will be he'll be all of a sudden he get locked down to a bench. He can't get off the bench. Then the bench will start moving along the floor, or not. The floor will be look like the same floor there, but this floor will move. A door, the brick door will open up. It looks like brick, but fake. It will open up. There'll be a door in the front. Well, the two doors will open up. He will go. We'll have him go in to one door, and he will in that area. He will be he will be sprayed down with disinfectant and stuff like that. And then the other door opened up. He injected outside of the hospital. The bench go back in. Another bench is already sitting there. It get sprayed down with disinfecting and go back in again. So this way that this guy, and the doors are locked, he can't get back in anyway. So you get frustrated and leave. And then eventually he will tell other homeless people, hey, this is what happened. And they want to avoid sitting at bench. But unfortunately, if they try to avoid it, well, the other benches will be sort of sitting there, but they was to be in an area where they are in the area that was say hospital patient lounge. You must enter your hospital room number in to enter. If you don't, and the code must have a code to enter. So you have to enter a code. So, for example, when a patient got admitted to a hospital for admitting, they be given the code, that room, and that code will be used by them every time, and or tap card for it. Tap card used, the person goes in and he goes into a room. And when he's in that room, he'd stay in there. Then from that room, he will be a patient will have everything he needs, comfy bench and if a patient sits on a bench, he won't be ejected outside. Homeless more bench or comfy enough to make a homeless person want to be on it, but when they find out it's a trap, they find out it's disguised as a trap to kick them outside the whole time, they're not going to go near it. Anyway, But genius idea, but I don't think this ever gonna work. Well, think about it. If you go to a BIC search, or if you just anybody listen live stream like the women's retreat, you can go to campcockwell.ca and look for retreats. And if you're a woman, look for women's retreat at 149 plus GS plus tax, of course, unfortunately, plus the municipal tax on top of that, called county tax, rural tax on top of that. Anyway, once you do that, then you can drive up there and come to women's retreat. Must be a female only. No men are allowed there. Just ladies only. Female, transgender female. All are welcome there. And they're not like, don't be like out of the ordinary in there. To go enjoy the retreat, and have a wonderful time there and come back. And, of course, my shirt called Peacemaker Community Shirt will be using our van service to get people up there, called the van service. Like, we'll get people up, and like people who don't have a vehicle will do so. So I'll be like that too. But people come up by own, they come out car, and look forward to having a good retreat. You ladies will enjoy it. And even if you're homeless female out there who might be listening this blog, I recommend you too. If you have come up with the money to pay for it, get a hold of Peacemaker Community Search in Hamilton and give it right. Or if you have going to another BIC search in the province or where, see if they can't get you right up there. But you know what? Honestly, it's good. And then, it's very good. So, I mean, if you are out there, especially homeless ladies who want to have a nice time away, but not feel like they're in the big city, it gives them a weekend away. When they come back, they feel refreshed. I came back from last year. Well, I really felt refreshed. I mean, come back, Hamilton, I was coughing smoggy air. I couldn't believe it. Dirty air in Hamilton, filthy dirty. Filthy, filthy, filthy dirty. Believe it or not. Anyways, enough said about this. Now, I'm getting tired. It's late. It's 8:27 at night, and I'm sitting here doing a live stream. Well, anyways, coming up in that one, Camp Cockwell, Women Preacher, I'm going to do as much as I can, but it may not be live. I may have to restore them in the computer, then upload them later up. When I upload them, I get back, I'll upload them on the way down by tethering it off my phone. If I got really good phone signal, I could tether it off my phone and do it. But otherwise, it may not happen. I'll bring it, but it's going to be not easy. It's a little harder to do it because you're going through a lot of rural networks and channels out there. That area of Northern Ontario, a lot of northern rural networks that have to go through even to get the live stream going, and that what really slows down a lot when you do. And last time I was up there in McBedawan, did a video on my smartphone, and it took 10 hours to upload video. It would take this. Or it take about 10 hours. Well, it take only about 45 minutes. About 45 minutes here, right? 1 minute, and I load immediately here. But that one how long it took? Because the signal there not in LTE. It's actually more like a 4G LTE there, and it's 3 and 4, and I was using that type, and that's what took so long. Anyway, so enough said about that. I'll be doing another live stream again. Oh boy, and I gotta get my income tax done. And I think with all the money, with all the ODP I collected through in 2025, plus the old age I tried to collect this year, I'll be taking all that together and I'll be looking at a very good refund on my taxes this year. Really good refund on it. Like a good tax refund this year for that money. That's a good hunk tax refund there. So, I mean, I got the old age T4. I got the provincial one. When I file it, boom. I'll be so happy. Anyways, okay, blog over. And thank you for listening. Remember, don't drink and drive. Take taxi, public transit, and be safe. Arrive alive. And blog is over. Blog over.